Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to today's Train Sim World 2 live stream. We are on the Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr, and we are going to replay the service in the DBBR 155, going from Bochum. Not sure what our destination is, but we'll find out. But we're doing this westbound tanker service, so let's get in here, get our locomotive set up, and we will be on our way shortly. 9 a.m. We're on Microsoft Flight Simulator. So please come and check that out if you feel so inclined. Let's get our brake key on. Let's get this released. Oops, no, we don't want that released just yet. So we are on a slight downhill. Get our desk light all the way up. These control lights. Alright, where are headlight left? Headlight right. Should be headlight center there. There we go. We can leave the cab light off. Put the gauge lights on. Let's go get our CIFA and PZB set up. It's down the hall here. There's CIFA. And PZB, where are you? There we go. Nope, that's not it. That's just that. We don't want to mess with that. Where did our PZB go? There it is. I'm looking for the dial, not a light switch looking thing. Alright, we are set to go. Let's get the brakes off. Good morning, Josh. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Let's get the window open. So let's get underway here. Going slightly downhill, so I don't know why we're... There we go. Now we're moving. Alright, we are underway. Let's get this to our... contrast. There we go. Oops, that's not contrast. There we go. All right. So we are underway on the Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr. Alright, let's see, where is it? There, that's what I'm looking for. Alright. We gotta keep an eye out for our speed boards. We are going from Bochum to there. Now that train is going to depart. Looks like there's another freight train there in our parking spot. It'll leave before we even get there, so we'll be fine. Now, if I remember correctly, is we're going to take this line here. Wow, I gotta move quick because when we come in near here, we're going to get stopped. There's a red light that we have to contend with there. So we'll see the signal for that. We'll get some warnings and everything. But the trick is going to be that we've got to slow down and wait. Because it's easy to come down that hill because it's a pretty sharp downhill. And it's easy to get, you know, we're speeding and you don't have enough time to slow down for the red light. So if we have to throw it into emergency, then we'll do that. So, but hopefully everybody's doing well. Thursday morning, almost afternoon in some places. That SIFA seems like it's coming up very quick. I go to take a drink of coffee and bam, SIFA's on. So the cool thing about this is your throttle right here. This so you notice if I pull the trigger here, it will move, it'll make little incremental changes. And then if you come off the throttle, it makes incremental changes that way too. So yeah, kind of a really cool little locomotive. Got this, you know, wood paneling in here. I don't know, I like this locomotive. So, yeah. Neat little locomotive. I thought I put that on contrast. There we go. Somehow it got changed again. Alright, so we're on that line over here versus the other line. Man. SIFA, I love you, but boy, you're being irritating today. SIFA. Good morning, Mick. How are you? So this is the Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr. That's what I typed into your chat last night. You were like, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Oh, boy. So we're taking these tankers to a destination about 20 kilometers away here. On the side there. For our speed boards. I know pretty soon we're going to start seeing some. I think as we come around, right around there, we should start to see reductions in speed. And then as we'll come down here, and then as we come right about here or so, is we'll start to see that red. Yep, Microsoft Flight Simulator today, 9 a.m. usual time. And then I just could not say that. I was tongue-tied. Say it with me, Mick. Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr. So I think, if I remember correctly, forgive me, Frau Eiko Cohen, my German instructor, Hauptstrecke means, I think, if I remember correctly, main line. So main line Rhein-Ruhr. Because if I remember, that's what it means. I could be wrong. Alright, so we have the 140 coming up, so we should see a board. We should see a triangle or something coming up before that says, you know, hey, get ready to slow down to 140. So we're doing fine. We won't have to worry. We're going to be at our speed limit. There goes a passenger service. I got to go. I have blood tests now, so okay, Mick, sounds good. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming in real quick before you take off. So, yeah, we should see our reduction board here any moment now. There it is, the 14 there, that's our reduction board. We will acknowledge the new speed change when we get here. It's kind of odd. I feel like it's like I'm stuck. I was stuck in a weird spot there. Alright, so there's our new speed. Acknowledge that. We have another reduction to 100 kilometers an hour coming up. Morning, Patrick. How are you? Now the trick. Now I would think in real life, of course, we would probably want to drive as quickly as possible, but safely. I would think, and I don't know when this timetable is from, what year it's modeled after, but I would think that something like our tankers would be operating around the same time that passenger service is being operated. That just doesn't seem very safe. Alright, so we are coming around, so once we come around this loop, we should get ready to see that red light coming up. So far, we're okay. Now, it may be because we're kind of just coasting along here, and let's see. Yep, so the train has left, so we may get a yellow to slow down, but I think we're going to be okay. Because we've not been going so fast that we caught up to that train at that station. Because normally by now we would see that red, and we would be having to slow down here. So there should be a reduction board coming up here. It's kind of hidden sometimes. That's not it. There it is, that 10 right there. That's for our 100-kilometer reduction. So that's a good thing about not going so fast. Here's another one. So we got a double whammy right there for the 100 kilometers. Well, that's okay. We'll just acknowledge both to be on the safe side. We don't want to miss something and then we get thrown into the... Good morning, Mr. Adams. Get thrown into the, you know, chaos of the safety systems engaging because we didn't acknowledge that reduction in speed. That's the tricky part when you run PZB. Not so much SIFA. SIFA is just that yellow, exciting, you know, exclamation mark that says, hey, train driver, are you still alive, still awake? Acknowledge me, or I'm going to assume that you're dead or incapacitated. And I'm going to acknowledge this signal because there was a 10 up there also. Better to be safe than sorry. So here's our new speed. We got that 10 right there. And then we're going to kind of coast right through the station here. So, I mean, if you look at the guides, so like Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr, for instance, there's an actual manual. It'll tell you about PZB and when, you know, what signals to acknowledge and everything. I'm of the mindset, if I think I need to acknowledge it, even if I'm not 100% sure, I go ahead and acknowledge it anyway, just so that it's taken care of, and I don't have to worry about it after that. Because sometimes you think, oh, I don't have to acknowledge it, and then bam, yeah, you do, and next thing you know, you're coming to a grinding halt. We have a speed increase coming up, our 130 here. But this is a good route to learn. I'd say this route especially is good to learn PZB and SIFA, especially, I mean, SIFA is not hard to learn. You just acknowledge when the exclamation mark comes up, you just automatically acknowledge that and you're covered. But PZB, this one is really, it is kind of easy. And if you just do, instead of the passenger service, just pick freight and just take, you know, that way you're not worried about the time, being on time and all that. Just take the passenger or a freight service and just keep trying it, and then you'll eventually get the hang of it. But it's good, to also experience it from the cab as well, because, once you get comfortable knowing where the signals are, then you can kind of pop outside and sit on top of the train if you want, or whatever. But yeah, you can. We'll ride in the rest of the way in the cab, okay, just so that you kind of see. But the cool thing is, and I think it's the same on the PlayStation 5, you can zoom in a bit. If your sight is not so perfect, you can zoom in a little bit, and it slows things down so it's easier to spot stuff. So that kind of helps people whose sight isn't, spot on, so to speak. Then you zoom out. See how it kind of speeds back up, but you zoom in, and it kind of slows everything down for you. So if you're new to a route, even if you've got Train Sim World 2, but you're new to a certain route, use that to your advantage, you know, while you're learning it. Zoom in, right in the cab, zoom in so that you can kind of see the signals and everything. You know, that's a really handy tool. The first time I was like, wait, why does it seem like I slowed down? But then, you know, it does help you pick out the boards and everything, and keep an eye on the signals and all that, so you can kind of see them ahead of time and go like, okay, what do I got to do here? That's just a green light, we're okay. But we only worry about the ones that are marked like this one right here. We want to make sure if it was like a yellow over green or anything like that, then we have to do as a DOS service. So yeah, really, the German routes are fantastic, and doing the CIFA and PZB does add an element of I don't want to say excitement, but it makes it a little bit more I guess exciting. It makes it, you know, yeah, just, well, it adds another layer of things that you got to pay attention to. It's not just a you know, oh, I'll just drive along and, you know, I mean, you could do that if you want, but doing this, it makes it feel a bit more realistic, maybe, I guess. But of course, you know, if you don't want to play with the safety systems on, you're not obligated to do so. It doesn't take away anything from your experience. There's a 130 coming up, but we had a warning board just back there. It was on that light pole. It was the orange triangle with the numbers. But yeah, if you have Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr, I definitely recommend picking up the 155. It's a really cool little locomotive. Something different. Oh, there goes a freight service. But yeah, it's got this really cool steering wheel throttle sort of thing. So, all right, here's our 130 right here. Everything's up on that board, on that light pole there. You saw the 13. That's for our 130. So that way we just acknowledge everything all in one shot. So we got a week now until Northeast Quarter comes out. And a lot of the changes to the game, the core updates and everything. There's a 100 kilometers, so we had that right there. So we're okay right now as far as that speed goes. Although we can get on the brakes a little bit just so that we don't, because we're going downhill. And we will be kind of going downhill until we reach our destination, I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and get on the brakes now. So our 100's right around the corner here. There's that 10 right there. So we're going to come by the station here, and then we should split off into a yard there. Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine this being allowed in present day. Alright, there's our 130, our increase. And another increase here, although that's really, I think, for the passenger trains, not us. Alright, so we got right here, we got that yellow over, yellow and the green. So we got a yellow. So we're going to start slowing down here. If we don't start slowing down, then the safety systems are going to engage themselves and stop us. So we got to be slowed down before that green. Alright, so now, okay, the brakes are slowing us down. We'll release the brakes. But we don't. So the tricky part is, sometimes you overdo it on the brakes because they don't seem to start working right away. So, yeah, we come to a complete stop here. Even though that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, let's see if we can get this train moving again. There we go. Alright. So yeah, once you come under, what must you do to acknowledge? So I just press B, or if you're in the cab, you can just hit PZB acknowledge. Now the release, if you notice that 70/85 was flashing, what I did was I hit the release saying, okay, we're going to be, we're going to move safely now. We're under, we've got power and we're moving. So we don't need a reminder, we're going to come up under our 1000 hertz magnet. Now the tricky part with the magnet is if you see it, you need to start getting on the brakes right away, because if you don't by the next signal, that's when PZB is going to say you're not slowing down fast enough between signals, and so we're going to stop you. So you have to be, when you see that, you got to get on the brakes right away and get to about 40 kilometers an hour, and you'll be fine. But you'll see, coming in here, we should come on that next signal where it's the 40 kilometers there, we should come under a 1000 hertz magnet. But all you got to do is just press whatever the button is on the Xbox. It's the B button. That's all you have to hit to acknowledge CFA and PZB. So like this light, we have the green over the yellow, right? And you have those yellows, so that means we're coming up on a red soon, so we're going to acknowledge that signal. Okay. And now we're under that 1000 hertz magnet. We're doing fine. I'm going to come off the throttle. We're within the speed limit for the 1000 hertz magnet. Now you can look, and the guides that they have, if you go to the Dovetail Games website and you look for their guides, it'll tell, for like the routes itself, it'll tell you what the speed limits are for the magnets. So like 1000 hertz, it's usually about 45 kilometers an hour. We're doing fine because we're at 30 kilometers an hour, so we're not going to get dinged for any kind of safety thing. So we're fine right where we are. We should come under a 500 hertz magnet, which is about 18 kilometers an hour, I think, if I remember correctly. So yeah, there's our red light at the end. just on the other side of our stop point. So now the tricky part, of course, is that we don't want to, we don't want to spat it. So if you look here, so yeah, right there's our stop point. There's the red. So now we're under the 500 hertz magnet. You see the red just to the lower lower left of the 70. We're going to get a little bit more brake on. But see, it takes a while for the brakes to release. So you have to be very... Hello, Amela. So you have to be very careful with the brakes, especially on this one. You can overdo it very easily, and then you end up stopping short. Now, it didn't make us... It didn't say, okay, we completed our service. We're going to come right in here. Oops. So we're just going to kind of coast in here. I could hit the release thing. It's still going to flash because we have that red there. So it's saying, you got to be prepared to stop here. Which we are prepared to do. So we're going to try to finesse it in here. There we are. Ta-da. So, that's pretty much that. Okay. Can't speak enough. Like, I was scared to death of trying out the PZB. CIFA was like, okay, it's not so big of a deal. But PZB, it does take some practice. I would recommend... as it prepared to stop anywhere. Yeah, that's true, Josh. I highly recommend trying it. Give it a few tries. Go on a route that, if you've got the German routes, go on a route that you feel comfortable with, that you feel and then just throw it on. And then just keep, my suggestion is just do 5 services the same direction, and just get used to it, and just pick out where the stuff is. And if it stops you, look around and see where you might have missed the marker, and go like, oh, okay, I see where I should have acknowledged this. Because it does happen sometimes. You may miss it because it might be behind a bush, or it kind of blends in. So just keep going back through and keep doing it, and then you'll find that you're going to get much better at it, and you're gonna be like, oh, it's not that difficult. So it does add a level of enjoyment. Once you nail it, it's like, it's not that difficult. So, but sometimes there is a little bit of bug sometimes that you think you acknowledge something, and you're like, why am I being stopped anyway? So anyway, that's going to be it for now. I will see you guys in about 2 hours on Flight Simulator. We're going to be doing the Dayer TBM 930 again. I think we've gotten some stuff nailed with the Cessna 152, so we're going to go back to the Dayer TBM, and we're going to do that flight from near Clear Lake. We're going to go towards the coast there. So should be a nice flight, nice morning flight. So come back if you feel you want to. Enjoy the scenery and everything. And I will see you then. Take care.